Welcome to another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. That's big with two G's. I'm going to repeat that. That's big with two G's, the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And we got Kaje Jones.
That's me.
What's going on?
What's up, y'all? Thank you for having me at the BiGG Umbrella Podcast.
And that's big with two G's.
Hey.
I might have to take this jacket off because now I'm trying to get hot in this motherfucker.
Oh, I got you sweating?
Nah, it's not damn light. I be telling this nigga, I be like, bruh. Light little one. Yeah. You be like, them lights be on the motherfucker. But yeah, so we already started off even earlier about, I always like to start off, where are you from?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Yes.
Shout out LeBron.
Yeah, shout out LeBron. Shout out to my city, you know.
So was that even like where you from in Cleveland? Was that close to where he is on Akron?
No, he's from Akron. I'm actually from the suburbs of Cleveland, so I went to school at Orange High School. I got family all over the city. That's kind of how it goes. So Cleveland is like a big, small city, you know, so everybody knows everybody pretty much. You know, the artistic scene is actually really interesting because you can like fly within the same scene and not know people, which is so weird.
Like y'all be doing basically like almost on
the
same
shit,
level.
you know what I'm saying?
And
I'll
met you.
And literally, it's so weird because I'm like, how? Probably been at the same party, still not, you know what I mean? Like crazy. Cleveland is weird. Love my city though, you know what I'm saying? Like it definitely, you know, raises a certain breed of people with a lot of ambition and just like, I feel like very strong people. There's a lot of people from the city out here, you know, that I know, especially artists, especially female artists. I know a lot of my homegirls are out here doing their thing too. Affinity, Summer, you know, we out here, we making headway. Snap got P.
And for you out there, even in Cleveland, what was that like for you growing up out there?
I love my city.
No idea.
Okay, so like I said, I lived in the suburbs. So I lived in like a, you know, small little section. So it was a vibe. My parents have like a little acre of land. Very green. Acre. Yeah, right. So it's so different from out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's green as hell. Like they have a lot of grass and then we live by the woods. So that's all I knew growing up. It was like we don't have no street lights on the street I was at either. You know, my grandparents.
You had no street lights?
No street lights. So it was like.
For how long?
They still don't have street lights on my parents' street.
Okay.
Yeah, so like it was interesting because there was like pitch black. And then my grandparents, I spent a lot of time with them. Live in Warrensville and Shaker, you know, from people from the city know. So Warrensville, they got street lights, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Shaker, same thing.
And why is that?
Why?
And you said
I
in
don't
the
know.
suburbs, why don't they have street lights in the suburbs?
Oh, the particular suburb that I'm from is like, when I was growing up, it was like, I want to say off the grid, low key, but like not at the same time.
Because I'm like, yo, if you in a suburb, they usually got goddamn street lights.
No, like, the city that I'm from, like Woodmere, is like a subdivision of Orange, right? So we don't even have sidewalks. Yeah.
So it's all street.
All street.
And they drive in. So where can't they drive?
You're like, how did they see?
Yeah, where the fuck ain't they driving?
You know, because you got your beam, you know, you got your lights on your car.
So it's just like, I'm going to just follow these streets.
You just know. I don't know how to explain. You just know. It's
and
just
you drove
different.
out there?
Yeah.
Okay, because how long was you out there?
My whole life. I lived in the same house my whole life, like born and raised. Yeah.
That, like you just said, like that's like you said, there's not even sidewalks where you was living.
Yeah, no.
And you said you grew up out there your whole life.
Yeah.
And that was you got your mom and your dad out there?
Yep. They're still together. Yeah.
To this day?
To this day.
How long they been together?
Ooh, 30 plus years.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, because I don't even 30, maybe even 35.
Especially nowadays, that's an accomplishment. He's 30
really
plus
is.
years.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's interesting because like I said, so Cleveland like has, you know, a lot of suburbs and small cities within the city. So it was dope because I have family everywhere. So, you know, I grew up in Orange, but then my grandma, you know, Shaker, East, you know, everywhere. Like I was just around, you know, then my brothers and my cousins just had me everywhere too. It was, that's why I'm like, it really shapes like I feel like a very well-rounded person. Like, and then so when I came out here to California, it was so different because everybody out here so, you know, happy and smiley. Most people like speak and wave, you know, it's just different. You know, I felt like sometimes in the city, especially being like downtown and stuff like that, when you're out, you know, you're always looking over your shoulder, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with
you know,
the crowds and
you know
shit
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
Right. Like, you don't really do that as much out here. There's a lot more space and people be chilling for real. You know, sunny every day.
They got like sidewalks to walk on and shit like that, so. Yeah.
Look, that's just the suburb, you know. They got sidewalks downtown.
Of course. I'm just fucking with you.
But yeah, no, California coming out here was very different, but a vibe, which is, I guess, why I've been here so long.
And even now, going back to Ohio, so you grew up with siblings.
Yeah, well, me and my brother, we lived in the same household. Well, a little bit, because we're 10 years apart. So, you know, he was like low-key grown by the time I really had, you know, time to process what was going on.
So you was basically, so what was it like growing up with your mom and dad?
It was
because basically,
dope.
I mean, like you said, it was 10 years apart. Your brother was kind of
out the house.
Thing. It's like, so now it's like kind of I'm mom and dad with me.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I love my parents. My parents were very, very good to me, and I think that they raised both of their children to the best of their abilities. You know, my brother.
As they tried.
Yeah, you know, he was the wild one. He was older, so he was really, you know. But I was. They always say like I just came into the world like really chill and pretty reserved. So they didn't really, you know, they let me do me. Really, like,
because they didn't have to check too much for you. Because like,
they really didn't.
She's good.
Yeah, like for real. Like I never had a curfew. Like I just knew better about certain things. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like I would be with my cousins, or if I was somewhere and like the situation was crazy, like I was always the one like just watching out. Like, okay, well, if shit go left, I know where the door is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I got the keys type shit. But it was
even
great.
With them giving you all that space, do you feel like that was a benefit in the long run instead of them being so on you?
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Hey, you need this, you need to be here, this is.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I think for myself, and I've been thinking for myself, you know what I mean? Which like really gave me a lot of sense, and it gave me the ability to protect myself, you know what I'm saying? Because you learn like, okay, you know what I mean? You learn how to observe settings and just understand where you are and how to watch yourself and watch other people and just, you know, how to be.
Yeah. So for you, even like in high school in Ohio, what was that like?
Oh, high school was interesting. So, because like I said, I grew up in the suburbs. So, my school was primarily white, you know. So there weren't like a lot of black kids.
Were both your parents black?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy because you so light skinned.
I know. Me and my mom are actually the same complexion, which is funny. Yeah, she always said, she was like, yeah, and my dad he's darker skinned. And she was like, yeah, I married your dad. I thought I was going to have me a little peanut butter baby, and then here you come, white as hell too. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, like, what the fuck? But yeah, so I got that a lot too growing up. And you know, like, so that's what I'm saying, is so different from like Cleveland here, right?
And plus, like you say, like you grew up at a majority white school.
Right. But my family, a lot of my family is fair skinned, but like they're all black women. I never knew anything else.
Right.
They never call themselves mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like we never like touched base on that. Because, you know, like, and also in the Midwest, it's different, right? Because a lot of the reason that people are mixed is because of like the slave trade and that thing, right? So you don't know a lot of your ancestry. You just don't, because they like cut that history off. You know, where as far as you come out here and there's mixed people and they know, oh, I'm Filipino and my great-great-grandfather was born here. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So people would always be like, oh, well, you're light-skinned, so you're mixed. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, I was raised by black women. That's all I know. You know, my dad is black. You know, but then eventually I did do my ancestry just so I had the knowledge. Right? Because I'm like, y'all telling me I'm mixed.
Right.
And
Let me actually look into this.
And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, because I didn't understand. And then I'm like, okay, no, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm like, okay, so, and looking back, and so I think it said I'm 69% of like
Irish.
69% African. I'm 30% like, you know, actually Irish and British. Yeah, which is funny. And all, you know, and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, so now I know. But yeah, no, it was different though. It was interesting because like I said, so my school was, to, you know, go back into the segue that we just ran off from. It was very white. So it was kind of racist at times.
That was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Because like usually, I mean, you're gonna experience both ends. You're gonna find some white folks and everything else like love you, and then you're gonna find the other crowd that's like.
I had all of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above. You know, some of my mom's best friends are white. You know, so I grew up with them, and then some of my best friends from, you know, because I went to the same school, preschool to senior year, right?
Wait, is one school for preschool?
One school system.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
wait,
that sounds crazy.
But you know what I'm saying? But I was there in that system all 13 years. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up with the same people. So those people that know me, you know, my family, you know, some of them, like, we grew up and it's like, you learn. It's like, okay, some of them, you know, we're still to this day. You know what I mean? Cool as fuck. But then some of them you learn, like, okay, you know, that racism is embedded in you. and you chose not to grow out of that.
Right. Your parents is kicking this to you, like your grandparents, your uncle, everybody's like, so it's almost like you're gonna fall into that. It's either you're gonna stray so far from racism, or you're gonna fall right into that same thing that they've been kicking to you forever.
Right. Which I went to school, which was helpful for me, because we were talking about code switching a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And it definitely educates you on how to like be in every type of scene. Because then I went to school in West Virginia, so it's like, okay, Cleveland is like a little bit racist, and then you can go to like the, certain places where it's all black people, which
in Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you still feel like it's still like that to this day?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You go to the burbs, you gonna see like a lot of white people. You go to the city, you gonna see a lot of black people. It just is what it is. And then you can go to the west side and there's like, Puerto Rican population and stuff like that. But then I went to school in West Virginia and it was, it was all white.
Again.
Oh, no. Way different. Way different. You know what I'm saying? Because Cleveland is like, there's a lot of Jewish white and stuff like that. No, West Virginia is like country white.
Ku Klux Klan white.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was definitely,
that was different. Cause you know what I'm saying? Cause now I done grown up with these white people and they cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool.
Yeah.
And a couple of people that aren't cool, it's like, I know y'all not cool.
Right. So I ain't gotta fuck with you.
You know what I'm saying? So, but now I'm going to this place where most of y'all ain't cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's different.
And this is high school.
This was college.
Oh, wow.
No, high school, same thing. High school was cool. No, college was when it shifted and I was like, okay. I'm like, okay, so their racism is very real.
And you could get the vibe that they was treating you different already off top.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You know what I'm saying? That real, or not always though, because then I had a couple of them that were like, flying under the radar and it came, would come out later differently.
Like, what the hell you even fly? If you didn't like me, just tell me that and say we ain't even gotta do nothing.
But maybe they don't know though, because we're all trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We're all learning. You're young. College, you don't know. You don't even the people that are racist don't know they're racist. You know what I'm saying? So we're all learning. So I had to learn that y'all was still fucking up and y'all had to learn that y'all ain't fuck with me because of the color of my skin. It is what it is, Yeah. And then too, because I'm light skinned, so they wouldn't even understand. So a lot of them assumed off rip I was half white.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And they find out, they'll see my parents.
It was kind of like, come here. I know your mom is white and your dad is white.
Literally. And then they see both my parents and they're like, oh.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
You all the way black.
Right. They're like, so, but it was good. I needed it. I needed everything that I've been through and everything that I've learned. I needed it.
So with that experience and you being West Virginia, what do you feel like that taught you in the long run?
So much. Because honestly, in my college career of being like a D2 athlete, because I played volleyball in college.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I wasn't very confident. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't play a lot.
You wasn't as confident in your sports like game or just life?
Life. I would have to say life. I would have to say life because I was still learning who I was. Right? Because you leave high school, whatever, you was with your parents the whole time. Now you learn.
You out here solo
now you by
bolo.
yourself for the first time by yourself. Like
in West Virginia at that.
Right.
Hey, can you give me that, bro? Yeah, and at West Virginia at that. It's like, and that was, like you said, a whole different fucking experience.
Very much so. So, as I'm learning myself, I've learned that, okay, I had to break through still some of the imposter syndrome that I had.
The what?
Imposter syndrome.
And what is that exactly?
So imposter syndrome is where you just fear, like, you feel like you're not good enough, even though you are. You know what I'm saying?
What brought you to that?
What brought me? I've always had that.
To this day?
Yeah. My last project was titled Imposter Syndrome because that is something that I still...
And you expressing that.
Yeah, which I feel like I'm way better at now. But like, as a kid, I've always been a performer since I was 3 years old. I've been on stage.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad, he put me on stage, but I kept, I would make a mistake and be
Did
like...
you want to be on stage at 3?
Yeah, like, the Lord, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's God-given when, you're drawn to that, right? So I was drawn to it, then I made a mistake, then I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Then my dad's trying to push me. He's like, no, you're great. I'm like, but I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Then I had teachers that were like, saw the potential in me, forced me to be, oh no, here's the solo and you're doing it or you're failing. And I'll be like, shit. Because I was always a good kid. So I'm like, fuck, okay, I got to do it. But those lessons, definitely brought me out. And then, like I said, then it carried into college. But then I'm by myself, you know what I'm saying, with people who don't care to see me,
Right.
who don't care to pull
They
that
not
out
pushing.
of me. They're not pushing me because they don't
Right.
give a fuck.
Right.
Right. And because of that, and that was one of the greatest lessons I learned. That's why I didn't play. I didn't play because I didn't pull that out of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I didn't pull, like, I could have been, you know, I was great, but I was too afraid to show it.
Mhm.
I would get out on the court and fucking choke because I'm like, oh, now, you know what I'm saying? You know how that pressure and like that fear of making a mistake will make you hold back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
You're
it's
like,
oh, if I'm not giving it my all
Right.
and I fuck up, it's okay.
Right.
But if I'm going as hard as I possibly can and I still fuck up, then, you know, what does that say?
Right.
I had to battle that, you know, that imposter syndrome and just get out of that. So now, like, people are like, oh my gosh, like, I can never tell that you're like nervous or uncomfortable. It's because it doesn't matter. Because I get out there and no matter what it is, I don't care. I'll be out there, I'll be goofy, I'll look however, but I'm going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to fuck up however, because I learn. I learn from it. You know, I'm my worst critic.
And I always say this with people, as creators, I feel like we are our worst critic. Like, we always feel like, damn, I could have did that part even a little better.
For sure.
Even though the whole goddamn performance was fantastic. But that little part I could have did, I could have went a little higher. But like, we the biggest critiques as like creators. I always feel like that. So with that even being said, what has helped you get over that hump? To now realize, you know, I'm actually doing my shit. Or, you know, actually realizing a word.
Yeah, I pray. I talk to God. You know, I'm just like, you know, I ask for the vision and just to like continue to align me in the path, and I give it to him. I just try not to worry about it anymore. Really, because now I understand that it's not about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I've tried to walk away from this gift several times. And even when I was in college, I didn't sing at all. You know, and as soon as I got out, I'm like, something's missing. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, you know, fuck it. Let me go to the studio with my homeboy. I called him up. I'm like, let's go. You know, we made a banger, Faded. Like, definitely my most, like, well-known Cleveland track, I would say. And I was like, I just knew. I'm like, that's what it was. That was missing. So now I was just like, all right, fuck it. Full speed ahead. Pray. And then, you know, and I'll feel lost again. I'll pray about it. Be like, you know, God, like, give me a sign, give me a vision. And God will answer your prayers.
Oh, 100%.
Very directly.
I believe you.
You know what I'm saying? So I've asked for vision, I've asked for guidance, and he will send me a person who will sit in front of me and be like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you're it. Like, you know, this isn't even coming from me. This is coming from God. And I'm just like, you know, like, I know I asked for this, but, you know, like,
yeah. Like,
for real, me, like, I've had people like, you're the one in your family to do it. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, did you have to say that now, today? Right. But it is what it is. You know, you pray for it, you ask for it, he gonna tell you.
What instilled prayer in you anyway?
Oh, my family.
Oh, y'all was big in the church already?
Yeah, like, that's why I was on the stage at 3. I was in church. You know what I'm saying? And it was interesting, too, because my parents, they transitioned through church homes when I was younger, too. So to even, you know, see them walk in faith in that way. You know, like, okay, this church home isn't, you know, offering the guidance that we need. And there was, like, several years we didn't have a church home, which was cool. You know what I mean? It was good for me. You know, you a kid, you don't want to go to church.
Right.
I don't want to sit there for
like,
3 hours.
I got to get up on Sunday early, too.
Hello? Especially because when I first started going, you know, I was a kid, we was going to black church. You know, black church about 3-4 hours long. You know what I'm saying? Like, church
was you singing at them, too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, and I'm just like, I'd be in there like, please.
It's like, is it?
Right? Literally. And then finally, you know, when I was, because by the time we found, I think the church home my parents still go to now, I was probably like 11 or 12, so I'm older.
Damn, and they still go there now.
They do. But I picked it, you know what I'm saying? Because we have been exploring for like 3-4 years.
How the hell
maybe.
You pick it? How old were you?
11 or 12.
And you like, we're going to this one.
No, because we went, and this is so we went, and I was like young, and I sat in the kids' sermon, and I sat in like the real one, and I understood. It was the first time I had been to church, and I understood what the pastor was saying. And the service there is only 45 minutes long. The whole, with the singing and everything, an hour, in and out.
Oh, damn.
Right.
Like you said, you went from 4 hours to an hour.
Hello.
Right.
And the first time I actually received the word, you know, Pastor Chip Freed, and I'm like, oh, this is different. And I'm a kid, and I told my parents, I'm like, oh, no, I like this church. And then they were like,
oh, we like it too.
Literally, we hear it, and then we became members. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not in Cleveland, like, I still watch it on Sundays. You know, not every Sunday. I'll be slipping on my pimpin'. You know. Yeah. But you know, but
yeah. And I've always said, for me, like, I've always been more spiritual than I am religious. So it's like,
definitely,
for myself, it's like, you don't have to be going to a church to show your love for God or, pray or anything like that. Like, you could pray anywhere.
Agreed.
So I've always felt like I've been more spiritual than I am religious.
Yes.
Do you feel like that in the same sense for you?
Absolutely. I don't really believe in like the construct of religion.
Right.
I don't believe in like Christianity as a whole. But don't get me wrong, I do read the Bible. I believe in God, I do. But I feel like when I, going to church is more about sharpening, I'm saying, fellowshipping,
right?
Because in receiving education, being a student, but everybody's relationship with God is personal. And it's singular. You know what I'm saying? Like, your relationship with God is not the same as mine.
Right.
But we can talk about it and you can educate me, but you still have your own path. I got my own path.
Exactly. And I feel the same exact way when it comes to like them breaking down as to how you're supposed to talk to God and this relationship. It's like you just said, everybody is different. So you can't really tell me how I'm supposed to have a relationship with somebody. So it's like that like I feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
I know you've been singing even since you was 3.
Mm-hmm.
The first track you dropped, who brought you to like think like, you know what, like you should do this shit?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if you can't remember, then
no, I do.
No,
it was just the people I was around at that time. A good friend of mine. We were making a lot of music together. I'll say me and Miles, the homie, we made the first track Faded together. Like I said, we was just kicking it.
This is you working with a dude.
Yeah.
I always be wondering, like, because when it come down to men and women working together, that was able to stay at a business relationship and it would never exceeded over that.
Well, that's the homie. Me and Miles, we've been cool. That's my fave. Like, we've been cool since, I don't even know, since high school. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, him and me, like, that's one of my best friends, like a brother, But the people I was working with at that time, as far as, like, engineers and all that other stuff, now, those relationships, like, floated in different ways.
And that's where I always question, like, when females, I feel like it might just be a little harder for y'all when
it's very difficult.
When you got to differentiate, okay, he want me to come in the studio to actually put on the track, or he want me to come in the studio for some other shit.
Oh, I that's me every single time. I'm just like, I'm reading the room. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing how a person receives me, how they're acting. And, it's like, okay, what do you want out of this? And I ask. I don't give, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm very clear. I'm very direct. It's like, okay, what you want? Or I'll just even say, like, I'm not down to fuck, just so you know. Like, off rip. And people be like, whoa, that's not what this was.
Whoa, it's not.
But
at the end of the day, now you got some liquor on me. Then you talking about, hey, like,
right.
What's
and
up
it's like,
you?
I don't, it's no disrespect. Like, I don't know if you got a girl, you do or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be rude, but I just want that to be known. Because if that's what your intentions are, like, I'm
out.
You know what I'm saying? Or not even, like, we're not even going to go. Like, because we just don't need to do that. I don't need to waste my time. But if you want to make music and you want to be a creative and, like, be on that playing field, like, okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And then some people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm cool with it. And they pull up and then they still get weird. And it's like, okay.
So I'm sure you had a lot of them experiences. So now you, like you said, you kind of read the room. But still, to this point, like, how do you still, like you said, I guess you would talk to them prior to even going there.
Yeah, I just always ask people's intent. I'm just like,
and like you said, you ask them straight up, you be like, yo, are you trying to have sex or are you trying to make music?
I don't even say, I just be like, I don't even say, I just say, I'm not down to fuck.
Right.
I don't know what you're trying to do, because that's none of my business. Really.
That's crazy that you even have to fucking say that,
But I'm just, because that's just how I go about shit. Like, I'm just, if I even get like an inkling of that vibe, because sometimes that vibe doesn't present.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not every time.
And if that vibe doesn't present, then I don't bring it up. But if there's like even like a small chance that I think you might try to cross that line, it's like, yeah, I'm not down to fuck.
Yeah.
Just
to let you know.
Just so you know.
So you don't even cross it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then people be like, oh, okay, well, what do you want? I want to be, a business associate first. And maybe we can develop a friendship. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That depends on the working relationship. But I'm trying to get this money. You trying to get money with me, period. Right. But I don't know. It also your intuition. So that has become way easier. It's like I read people. It's like, okay. You just know. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Them vibes that you get in.
Yeah, and I trust my gut. If I even feel a little bit weird, I just don't respond. I won't.
Then what? You went through school, and what brought you to want to even be a nurse?
My mother is a nurse.
And a traveling nurse.
Yes, my mother's a nurse. My cousin is a nurse. My grandma's like,
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, so I grew up and my mom was just so dope. My parents were dope,
Mhm.
you know, growing up, and like they gave me everything I ever wanted and needed. So I wanted to be that, you know, and be a healer and just be stable. And I just felt called to it. I didn't realize it was a stepping stone. You know, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to be a nurse. And then I like became one, and I'm like, oh, okay, I hate the hospital system. I don't like how it's set up. I don't like.
What don't you like about it?
I don't like how
I mean,
like
and that's only if you can speak.
Yeah, I just don't like how for profit it is. You know, I don't like the politics behind it. I don't like that I can't, you know, say or do certain things because of, you know, like logistics and stuff like that. Because I feel like we could do more.
Right.
You know, I feel like.
But since this person is given X amount of money, you can't go against this person what they talking about, because then they gonna pull out and we not gonna have that.
You know what I'm saying? You really got to be quiet about a lot of stuff, and so that kind of sucks, because I feel like there's like a lot more holistic stuff that can happen. But which is why I feel like I've tried to change the curve. And like my cousins, they have a nonprofit, All Love No Beef, you know, and that focuses on.
You know, that's fun. That's your cousin.
Yeah.
We doing a podcast in April.
Oh, wow. We were just with them yesterday.
We doing a podcast in April. Yeah, we talked about it because I seen you post and I was like, oh, they out here in Daygo?
Literally.
I'm going to hit them up and see what's going on.
You know what I'm saying? But that's, I feel like part of my ministry too is like, okay, you know, they got this nonprofit. They really focus on like providing.
Oh, you good. You go walk. No, you ain't no sorry at all.
Yeah,
you're rapping
good.
Or you producing?
I'm producing.
Okay.
You're doing everything.
You walking through too?
In a second.
Oh, it's whatever. Whatever you want to do. That's on you. Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. It's a vibe.
It's 100.
I really like your jacket. You're welcome. But so I just try to like talk about, you know, plant-based eating, not even just plant-based eating, just like taking care of your vessel. Because I feel like when you take care of your vessel, it solves a lot of problems down the road.
Yes.
Which is what I end up seeing, because I work in the ICU. So I work in the intensive care unit. Yeah, so I deal with a lot of transplants, kidney transplants, liver transplants. And then the whole COVID thing, our unit ended up becoming like a COVID safe haven. I guess that's what you can call it.
Safe.
You know.
COVID, that's just a hope.
You know what I'm saying? And we were seeing.
I keep it 100. Like I did not. I know people they lost their jobs because they happened to get the shit. I did not get the.
You didn't get the vaccine?
Nothing.
I understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too, is people get mad at me for saying I understand that. But my rationale for understanding it is that like, how can you expect people to be comfortable with putting something in their bodies without like
on the drop of a fucking
You know what I'm saying? Without the research.
And I'm supposed to just from what you told me, I'm supposed to, oh shit, that's gonna make it okay.
Yeah, no, let me see the studies.
After fucking 5 years.
I'm gonna be part of the study, because to keep my job I had to get vaccinated.
And that's like
you know
what I said, like you would mandatory vaccination.
Literally.
Or you can't work here.
Literally. So that's why I said I will be a part of the study. It is what it is. But like, I understand, because if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Literally, let me see the studies, because y'all be fucking up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and you expected me to push it so hard on somebody. It's like, I don't even fucking know what's gonna happen to you. Like, I know they saying this is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But this is brand new.
But especially for Black people too, and that's what people don't understand. You know, like they're like, oh well, blah blah blah, and it's just this like urban culture thing. It's like, do you know what has happened to us like historically as far as like medical shit? Right. You know, like the Tuskegee experiments, and just, you know what I'm saying, like just bottom line, like, so, and well, who are the cells? The cells. I guess I'm drawing a blank right now. The woman who was like the first cells that were grown in a lab. Henrietta Lacks. I don't know if you're familiar with that story at all.
This is why I honestly love doing podcasts, because I learn new shit all the time.
Henrietta Lacks, she had abnormal cells, and they took her cells and grew her cells in a lab, and they ended up, she was like the first cells that they were able to grow, right? And they did tons and tons of studies, made huge medical strides with her information, and like her family got...
This is a Black woman.
Black woman, right. Yes. And her family got none of that money.
After
to this day.
all this shit that they did to her, it's like...
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
And like didn't even really help her, so it was like very crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, of course, the African American community does not trust the system.
Right. My grandma to this day is 100. My grandma's 100 now. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She was born in 1933.
100. That's great.
Yeah. She just turned 100 on, I believe, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
On the 18th, yeah. Or the 8th, one of them two. Something like that. So, yeah. And my grandma, she goes, and she, like I said, she's 100 years old. She will not go to the hospital.
And I understand. I really do. You know, and I hate to say that, but I have also been a patient. You know what I mean? And as a Black woman, and one, I advocate not only for all of my patients, but like, I feel like for my minority patients, I really try to just like educate them and really break things down on a level that we can all understand, you know? And sometimes they don't want to hear it, which is fine. But like if I have the time, I will sit and talk to you and say, hey, do you understand? You know, because as a patient and someone who does understand, I have received poor care. And I'm a healthcare provider. You know what I'm saying? With the knowledge and the information that I have to protect myself. And
you guys are supposed to be doing this and y'all ain't do this shit.
But when you're in pain or you're going through something and you have an ailment or whatever fuck you got going on, it's hard to speak up for yourself and you don't have anybody by your side.
I just need fucking something.
Right.
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I need something done now.
So I understand, you know, and Black women especially, as unfortunate it is like our voices are very unheard. You know, they always think like our pain is less than, you know, and that's a huge thing. Like Serena Williams spoke about it. She almost, you know, she had a situation after she gave childbirth, you know, that she was telling the nurse like, hey, something's not right. And they weren't listening to her. And she had
this is Serena Williams.
Literally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to hear those things, you know.
It don't matter what statue you
It don't. It really doesn't. So it's just like, I that's why I feel like it's so important to educate, you know, everybody, educate ourselves, educate your family, sit down and have those talks. They're hard talks to have. You know, like if this happens to you, what do you want us to do? And get it in writing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be in a situation where it's already not written down and then the state takes your family member.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just, it is what it is. Those are my issues with the system, but we can talk about that all day.
No, definitely. And that's you even like in a small part educating people. Like you said, get that down in writing so y'all know this is what I want to be done.
Absolutely.
If this occurs.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. And what even made you want to help healing people and to do the extra schooling for it?
Well, like I said, one, my family, you know, my mom, my cousins, my grandma, so, you know, so they inspired me. But I just feel like you're called to it, you know, and I feel like that's the same thing with music. Like people, and it's funny because people now that I'm older too have told me like, oh, you have such a healing aura about you, you know, and
look at that. That's the profession you pursued,
right? Because it's God given. You know what I'm saying? Like when you really like pray and you walk on that line of destiny, I love that you organic.
Live by faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not easy. You know, it's easy to get stuck in like the routine, you know, and shit like that. But no. I just try to stay prayed up, and I'm like, okay, what's next? And it's crazy because one of the I Love No Beef, they're twins. So my cousin,
oh, shit.
Right? So I came out here. Jordan, you know, he lived out here. One of the twins, and I came out here and visited him. We kicking it. I'm like, and it's something was just calling me. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this is a vibe. And he's like, come out here. He's like, stay with me. Boom, boom. We'll get a place. I'm like, bet.
Okay.
Literally.
I'm on my way.
And I came. Like, he was like, everybody say that shit.
So that's what brought you out here to Daygo?
Part of it.
Yeah.
And then happened to, you know what I'm saying, fate. You know what I'm saying? Then I applied. I'm like, because I applied a couple of states. First place my license got approved, California, which is crazy because this is normally one of the longest states. Right? And he was like, make it happen. I'm like, bet. So I pulled up. We lived together for a year. It was crazy. You know, it was crazy. It was a vibe. Then my homies, they're like, oh, you live in Cali? What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Come out here. Same thing. You know, Snap got P. I'm like, come out here, you know? Then he was out here. Then, you know what I'm saying? So now he brought his brother out here. Just like we all chose to pay it forward and just like pour into each other, you know?
And now with you transition to music, what was the reception like for you?
As far as what?
When you got out here to San Diego?
Honestly, San Diego has been a vibe. I you know.
Did you get more reception from your music out here in San Diego than you did from your hometown?
So, okay, because I was really only making music in Cleveland for like a year. And
like you said, like when you was in West Virginia, like you wasn't.
I didn't make music. Yeah, no. Music. Like I would like, it's funny because this is funny. A little story. So
I want to laugh.
Yeah, our PA system broke for the national anthem because, you know, before games, they got to play the national anthem. Our PA system broke. So they started making
no, this is West Virginia. I'm about to say, you ain't got no goddamn sidewalks, no PA system, but you in West Virginia now.
Right, man, listen, because in West Virginia, so they ended up building a new gym right after I graduated, which is crazy.
It's
but
like, y'all gonna wait till I left, bitch?
And build a nice-ass facility.
Yeah.
But anyway, so while we were there was a shitty-ass, old-ass gym. So PA system broke.
Shitty-ass, old-ass
gym. Love it though. Build character. I needed that. I needed it. I promise I did. I needed to hit that floor as much as I did. Love it. Brent Stevens, she called me, love her to death. She is like, anyways. Okay, so boom. So the PA system breaks, right? They're like, oh shit, we can't play the national anthem. Y'all got to sing it.
Who is y'all?
The team.
So how all y'all gonna sing on one goddamn PA system?
We didn't. We stood in a circle and just sang as loud as we could.
And y'all put the mic
in the middle of the court. I don't think there was a mic. We just sang it loud in the middle of the court.
So that was for everybody, whoever was in the court, to hear y'all's national anthem.
Yes. And
how the fuck did that work?
It worked. And then somehow, because they were like, well, she can sing the best. They're like, well, she can sing the best. So you sing the loudest and you sing the loudest. Everybody else, y'all just support them.
Yeah, basically y'all back up.
Literally. So I was like, fuck it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was damn near not playing. So I was like, well, this is my role,
Yeah.
So I'm singing my little heart out. And then somebody was like, who is that? And when my homegirls was in stand, she was like, oh, that's her. And that's Jones right there. And I'm like, oh, shit. And they're like, can you sing the national anthem for homecoming? I'm like,
ooh.
I'm like, what? I'm like, because this is when I'm shook.
But didn't you feel good for them even offering that?
I did, but I was also terrified.
Right, because you said, like you was living with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hello, but I'm like, okay, walking faith. So I did it. And they were like, oh my God, that was so amazing. So that was like that was my one and only really calling back to music while I was out there. Graduated, came back out. So Cleveland, like I said, only made music there for like a year and a half before I came out here. But people were fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was making, especially considering how fresh I was.
Right.
Because you got to understand, like fresh artists, they hungry, but they be, we be a little shitty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Need some work.
Definitely needed some work, for sure. But my drive has always been crazy. Like, you can't tell me shit.
But that drive helped you get to that work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you put something in front of me, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, period. So I was doing it. Nobody could tell me shit.
Yeah.
And that was received. My energy was received, my aura, all that, and where I was at that time. But then I came out here and started getting better. You know what I'm saying? I had a year I was tucked away. And then after that year, I found the Sound Lounge because I found Shelly Jane, actually, first. And because I had pulled up on her with one of my exes, actually, to a session. And I was like, oh, I like her flow. She's a woman. She's a woman engineer. So I was like, that'll make me comfortable. I know it ain't going to be no weird shit.
Right.
So me and her, we worked together for like 2 years. And that's how I ended up here. And then the Sound Lounge, they were just really great to me. Royal and Rec, they just, took me under their wing. And it was like, all right, And they really pour into their artists. They do. They're just like, everybody that comes in here is just like a family. It's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you need? You know what I'm saying? And Royal, they are. And Royal his ear is crazy. And it's funny because he sees me, right? He's another one of those people, those mentees, those mentors. I'm a mentee. He's a mentor who, like, he sees me, so he don't be letting me slack. He be seeing me, he be like, no. Redo it and do it right. Because he knows I can do it right. And you need those people that like see you like hiding from your shit. And then he's like, cut that out.
Yeah.
Fix that up.
Exactly.
When
did you get even more confident in your music?
Because I've been doing it for so long now. I started really writing and like becoming a recording artist 2016 is 2023. You know what I'm saying? And my pen, and people's been telling me like, oh, your pen crazy. Like you be writing that shit and like your style is one of your own. Your vocal tones are unique. Like, and I'm like, okay, right. I got some, and then performing more and people be like, oh my God, like and I would like hate the set. I'll be like, oh my God, that was so bad. And then people like, oh my God, like your set was so crazy. Good. Right? And I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm doing something,
That's like we was talking about. We're the biggest critics of ourselves, but somebody else saw like you was killing it.
Right, like that show you saw me at.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so early. Yeah. It was early in the day.
That was at the SD5K.
Literally, it was so early in the morning. It was cold. I was like, ugh. I'm like, I don't know about this. And then people were like, you did so good. I'm like, really?
Like you said, the biggest critics of ourselves, even though people see
how much you killing it.
Yeah. And so I needed that. Every step of the way has just been a building block.
Even what brought you to singing, and then even on the little versatile side to rapping?
I would be writing stuff, and then I was working with people at the time like Verdell and Adi Ray, you know, and they're like, they're like, you should just rap. And I'd be like, should I? Because it's funny, because I used to rap before games as a joke. Like, as a fucking joke.
In a game, this is a volleyball.
Yeah, and so like the team would like count on it. Like, can you rap to like hype us up? And I'm like,
and this is you freestyling.
Okay. And they are eating it up. And I'm just like, okay, you know, and then it'd be like, rap, please. We not playing well. Can you rap? And I'm like, okay, you know, that's my role. You know?
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? And so then when it came to like Adi and Verdell being like, oh, you should rap those bars, I'm like, should I? You know, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. I've done this before, you know, and then they're like, that's it. And I'm like, fuck. And then my brother, you know, love him to death. Aaron, you know, he been on my ass since day one. He been, you know, since I was like 15 and just, you know, fucking around in the room. Yeah. And he would, you know, so he was like, you need to be on that rap shit. He's like, your singing shit is cool. Your singing shit is great, but you need to be like, I need to hear them bars. Versatile. Yeah.
And now what you even doing a rap shit, do you prefer the singing over the rap, or is it basically hand in hand?
It's hand in hand. It depends on the day. Really, it does. Because it's like sometimes I'm just in a mood where I just really want to sing. You know, I got to get that off my chest. And sometimes I'm in a mood where I want to rap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Get that bars. I want to talk some shit today. It depends. Like, and I honor that. Honor whatever space I'm in.
And with you even rapping, do you prefer you having to write something down, or you just going like off the top of his own?
I like to write now. And I've gone through phases. Like I have like a year where I'm just straight freestyle shit. And right now I'm in a year where I'm really trying to be articulate with what I say and how I say it. So right now I'm in a writing phase. Yeah. But it'll change again.
Yeah. And what even inspires them, like behind the music?
My life. Yeah. Like I'll say, it's funny because I've dropped a tape every year since 2018.
Every year?
Every year. So since 2018, I've dropped a tape. And I think that everything that I've dropped has just been where I was at that time. You know, and that's why it's so different. Like you can really see, like, it's like, my music is literally my diary. That's when people want to ask me shit and be like nosy. I'm like, go listen to the music. You want to know about me so bad, go listen to the music. It's in there.
Because you put your, like you said, like your life on that fucking track.
Yeah, period.
And what was your first album drop like?
Oh God!
Because I know, like you the biggest critique of your damn self. So what was that?
Oh, it was so ghetto. Like? Oh my God! Because I did a show in Akron where LeBron is from. Right before I came out here, my birthday. So I had turned like 24 that year, I think. Oh my God! So I was turning 24. So I did a little album, you know, pre-album release party in Akron. Nobody but my family came. And it was
And how many people was there?
I don't even know. Like fucking maybe 12. I don't even know because I don't care. I was drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like
You was drunk.
I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give a fuck. So we were kicking it and we had a great time. And then I was like, all right, you know.
And this was you singing or you was rapping this time?
Got me twisting on a I was singing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this was back before I really got into the bars. Okay, so I was singing. There's only like one rap bar on that project. So I only did like 2 songs maybe. Yeah. So I did that. And what a time. What a time to be alive.
That's even for like when you actually think about like, fuck, I remember that.
Right. I'm like, that's kind of like.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. It's so cringy. It's so cringy. It's like, it's so dope, you know, because but oh my God, like to think about where I was, where I am.
And not only ask you that to now compare to the most recent show or your best show that you had now.
Oh God, wow.
Because you went from that first project to where you are now. Like
what
you said, you dropped it. Right.
What a difference. Oh my gosh. Like just the bars, the execution, the confidence are so different. Granted, I was confident back then because I just didn't give a fuck. It was like, fuck it. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing it with everything I got.
Now it's a different confidence.
You know, totally. Now it's more of an experienced confidence. Now it's like, okay, I've been on this stage. You know, the repetition is there. I've been doing this. But, and it's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. But Muse versus Imposter Syndrome, it's funny because they're kind of in the same lane. Like Muse was like, I was finding myself, but I like kept feeling like back then I'm like, okay, I'm all these people's muses. Like, I don't know why, but like, you know, I'm just like everybody, you know, and then imposter syndrome was like me overcoming, you know, all that shit, just where I was to where I am now. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
What's been the hardest part in this music venture for you to trying to achieve?
I don't even know how to answer that. Because it's like nothing is really hard. You know what I mean? When you walk with God. Like, and not to say that it's easy.
No, that's even powerful. That statement right there alone.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, none of it's easy, but it's like, but you know that God is with you. You know what I'm saying? It's obtainable because you know God is with you. So it's like, what is difficult? What is hard? You know what I mean? It's just, I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I'm honoring my space because me honoring my space means that I'm pouring into those around me. And that's just, it is what it is.
Right.
So.
And now what you're doing this music thing, have you been getting reception outside of Daygo and Cleveland?
Yeah. Sometimes it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like right after a project drop, that's when you like will see all these streams from like random places. I don't know why. But it'd be like, cool, wow, like that's so dope. Like, I don't know, like overseas and, you know, in this country and that country, and it'll be like, wow, that's incredible. You know what I mean? But also, like, I don't know how the algorithms are set up or how they do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I feel like right after a drop is when I really like see like a bunch, like an influx.
Yeah.
Or certain shows, like certain live streams and stuff like that. You'll just see like a little burst, and it's like, oh, that's so cool, so powerful.
Yeah, I think you might be like the first person we out on here with a grill. 100%, like no lie.
Love that for me.
No lie.
Love
like,
that
like
for me.
When did you even get a grill?
Cleveland. I've had this grill since I was in Cleveland.
And how often do you even wear a grill?
I don't know. Depends on the vibe.
Yeah.
I like dressed down today, and I was like, okay, I need a little bit of sauce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't got shit on, so
yeah,
this will work. You know?
Like I said, that's the first one with the grill, like and it actually you pulled that motherfucker off. So like,
thank you. That's hilarious.
Nah, real shit.
And I smile a lot organically, so it do be like, ah.
Yeah, like your shit shining.
Yeah, for sure.
How the hell you keep your teeth so white?
You know, people ask me that a lot.
And I ain't gonna. I'm one of them motherfuckers.
Man, thank you. No, honestly, I use Crest 3D White.
Crest 3D White, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all hear
not
that?
Colgate, because people be like, oh, I use Colgate White. No, Crest 3D White.
That's what's been doing it for you.
Yeah, all these years. That's all I use. And I've tried Colgate White too, and it's not the same. Like, shit don't be. Yeah, period.
So you had shows out here in San Diego, right?
Yeah, lots.
What's been your favorite?
Oh, that's so fun. That's a good question. My favorite. That's a hard question because I just
course.
did the jump
and
off
I honestly hate even doing like trying to break down a. So just even if it was a couple of your favorite, what's been like some of your best experiences?
I've had so many. I did a live stream with DJ Artistic one time, and that was so beautiful, so fun because we did a live band. One of with Doomcat and our project that we did together, we did the whole project. That was incredible. That's so fun. I just did the jump off that Kira hosted. That was fun because it was outdoors and that was a vibe. You know. The North Park Festival, a vibe. I'll be at Vibes with, you know, Trey Boogie. And that'd be fun because that just feels like family. You know what I'm saying? So I just get up there and have literally a great fucking time. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I just be up there and he'd be like, do this song. Hell yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, just fun. So everything I've done out here has been such a vibe, such a blessing. I'm just grateful for all of it.
And that's always good to have blessings around you.
Yeah.
So how do you, when it comes to the downfalls and shit, who's there for you to bring you back up?
My family, my brother, you know, I talk to him all the time. My best friend, Snap God P, you know, it's crazy because, you know, he came out, he's from Cleveland too. We met making a video and then we became like this. He moved out here and shit. And he,
oh, y'all good wherever you need to walk. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
He,
she got the Mickey D's and shit.
I know. And the Angry Orchards is going up. But he ended up actually getting COVID. Or like, you know, COVID, like, I don't know if it was COVID or the vaccine or whatever, but something that triggered him to go and to have, triggered a cardiomyopathy. And then he went to heart failure and he had to get a heart transplant.
Oh, wow.
Right. And this is just, and so he just got the heart transplant maybe a month ago, but he's excelling. You know what I'm saying? So like he was down, and like there was a period of time I really felt like I couldn't talk about my down shit with him because I'm like, I gotta uplift my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Because he's already going through shit. Like,
Right.
I don't want to fucking put more on you.
But the crazy part is we know each other so well that like he would know, you know what I'm saying? And he would still be like, yo, like just pour.
You good?
You know what I'm saying? And we just pour into each other, but we fight. You know what I'm saying? We fight. Like, and it don't matter what's going on. Like, we fight, but we're very honest. You know? So like if I'm really going through some shit, I'm honest with him. So he know. I'll be like, yeah, nigga, I did this. And he'll be like, yeah, that was dumb as fuck. And I'll be like, it was.
Yeah, it was, but you know.
You know what I'm saying? Him and my brothers and my mom. Me and my mom are best friends. You know, I'll tell her.
With my mom.
Right? You know,
like
so I tell her anything. And
like you said, we
right.
like that with my mom.
You know, and they'll tell you like it is. Period, point blank. Like,
and that's what I need. I don't need the sugarcoat and shit. Like, just keep it 100.
Yeah, and me and my mother are also very similar too. We're both Aquariuses, you know what I'm saying? And so we look at, everybody's like, y'all have the same face, you know? And we act the same, you know? So it's like looking in a mirror, you know, she really sees me, we see each other. So it just.
And your parents still in Cleveland?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but you know, I'll be on FaceTime. I call
How
them.
often you get to see them?
Honestly, considering we live so far apart,
right?
Quite a bit. They were just up here for my birthday.
Oh, that's what's
going there
they
in
came
June.
Out for you.
Yeah, so I go home at least 2-3 times a year.
Yeah,
and then you know my brother, he hasn't been out here as much because he's super, you know, he's on his grind right now. But he normally is out here like 3-4 times a year.
Like honestly, no, it's really you. Honestly, you good.
But yeah, so my family, they all support me. They all come out. My friends too, my best friends, they come out. You know what I'm saying? Like my support system is very solid, very blessed.
And now, even since you've been doing this out here in San Diego, what's the vibe like when you go back to Cleveland and kind of like, oh, I've been seeing what you've been doing.
Oh, my family is like, they buy all my merch, they support. Like if it's like a big show, like they would really, if I had like a big show, like they would come out. You know, like they really. Like my family is all love. Yeah. Very tight.
I was even wondering, like, with you being in the healthcare system, what's been like some of the hardest things to endure during like your time in the healthcare system?
Sometimes absorbing other people's heavy energies can like really get to you, you know, because like these are people's like worst days, you know, like even if you're having your best day, you're walking into somebody's worst day,
right?
You know, so that can be heavy. But it's about checking your ego and your attitude or whatever you got going on at the door and just like being present. But that energy can drain you, you know what I'm saying? Because you really have to give
taking on their shit.
Yeah, you're taking on their shit, but you're also you're calculating drips. You're looking at vital signs. You know what I'm saying? You're monitoring shit, and it's you're literally critically thinking for 12 hours. You know, point blank period. And you can't let up. You have to be very meticulous in what you do because, like, the decisions that you make in that setting are life or death. It's very serious, you know. So that's draining. I come home and I'm like, did I do everything right? Did I cross all my T's? Did I dot all my I's? You know what I'm saying? But but I do that before I leave. I'd be like, okay, you know, and talk to the nurse I'm giving handoff to. Like, do you need anything? Is everything cool? You know what I'm saying? Did I set you up right? Yes. You know, even if you had like a crazy night and you didn't get to do everything appropriately, it's like, hey, this was a crazy ass night. Are you okay? You got the support you need? Like, I'll stay, you know, type shit. But then you gotta learn to give it to God. You know, I pray before I go in. I pray when I come out.
Why do you feel people aren't so detail oriented as you are? Because like you said, you had your experiences in the healthcare system where it wasn't the best. But like you just described, you check in with the next person you checking out with. Why do you feel, and obviously you can't answer for everybody.
Right.
But why do you feel like that isn't like how you present yourself? Why do you feel like that wasn't the case most times?
Well, I can't even say it wasn't the case, right? Because I'm not in anybody else's head. I don't know what anybody else is going through. But one, like I said, sometimes unfortunately racism does play a part. So like Black women's pain.
And that's just crazy that you need help.
Yeah.
But the fact that your skin tone isn't what I want to help, I might give you less help.
But it's across the board though, because it's just that we like, you know, systemically we're taught that like Black women's pain isn't the same, right? You know, so it's just not received the same. And honestly, we're all human. So I can't even like take it away from racism and say that just that maybe that person's just having a bad day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know.
And like I said earlier, you couldn't speak on.
Right. So it's so many things. It's so many things. It's just, and just also the fact that the healthcare system, our system in general, like everything across the board, you know, as far as politics go.
Oh.
They're not, you know, it's not really set up for us to really be successful.
Excel.
You know, exactly. We're not set up to excel. So it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot across the board.
Yeah. And that's like, and I honestly even like, I love how educated you even are outside of just music. Because this was kind of like even what this whole podcast is for. Everybody know you for what your music is and what you put out there, but they don't know everything behind of what you even have to do to get to where you are.
We all work hard.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has a hustle. Everybody has, you know, something else that they got going on. But I just believe in, like, being 100% in whatever you got going on, whatever it is, you know? Like, I show up and I'm the best that I can be every single day. And that's not always equal. Right? You know what I'm saying? What if I got a headache that day, but I still showed up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So today is not the same as yesterday, but no matter what, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give everything that I got.
Yeah.
That's why I said, you know, prayer is really powerful. Like, I just pray for protection. I'm like, God, you know, just like, bless me with the ability to be a healer. Bless me with the ability to be present for this person and just offer, like, your love and your light. Let me always, like, just allow me to be an extension of that.
And even with that being said, have you now realized how far you have come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, even on
like
days,
we said, we're the biggest critics.
Right.
But now have you really realized how far you have
it's
come?
crazy because I'm just like the song I'm about to do after we wrap up here. Like, because I laid down half of it, right? And I'm just, this song been stumping me. So me and my homegirls, Affinity and her girl Lex, so we were writing the rest of it. And I'm just listening to what I had laid down. And I'm like, because the bars are like, forever focused on my elevation, getting money on vacation, family coming, ain't no running, head on like we jousting, baby. I was like, oh my God.
Wait.
Right. I was like, I needed that for me today.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I hadn't heard it in a couple months. And I'm like, yes. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You coming with me, my aura might make you see the light. I'm like, yeah, like for real, like on me.
Real shit. And even like you saying, like you have now come so far and realized what you've been doing. That's major when you actually realize what you actually came from. Because like when you was comparing your first album to now, it's like I seen how far I've came and how much.
That's what it be. Sometimes I gotta do that. Like sometimes I'll just have a day where I drive to the beach, or like I said, where I'm writing some more
roller
shit.
Skating and shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm driving and I listen to the old shit and what I was talking about then. Like, cause my first project, I'm like, yeah, I've been searching, I've been chasing my dreams. That's 2016, 2017 I wrote that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And into now, like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And into now saying like, you know, I'm getting money on vacation, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like head on. Period. Like
upgraded.
I be needing that though. You know what I'm saying? Like to chase that timeline for myself.
Exactly.
You know?
You do realize like actually where you have came.
Absolutely. Needed.
Give me 1 second. We about to be wrapping.
No, we've been trying to do this for a while, so I definitely appreciate it. I'm like, we had to both fit it into the schedule.
Oh, and that always be up, especially when you busy and trying to get your shit. Like, you know, you got to work that out.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I was saying, like definitely let people know how they can contact you and anything you got coming up. So definitely let people know.
I'm Kaje Jones. You can find me on kajejones.com. That is KAJE Jones.com. And that's my Instagram as well. And upcoming, I have a bunch of singles. I'm actually dropping a project with DJ RT Music. He's out here in San Diego as well. So yeah, y'all got a lot coming for me. Some music videos, some singles, project. Just stay in tune. And I'm always performing. So pull up to a show, have some
always
fun.
Performing.
Yeah, and I'm always here. I'm always at the Sound Lounge. You know what I'm saying? Getting to it.
Definitely. So with that being said, it's been another episode of the BiGG Umbrella Podcast. And it's a wrap. And there we go.
Yes. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for pulling up.
Well, let's get some tacos, nigga. Can we really get some tacos? You trying to get some tacos? Let's get some tacos, nigga.